Next topic is the dewatering and disposal of sludges. In previous lecture, we discussed about the anaerobic sludge digestion, or how to digest the sludge, or what are the different treatment method of sludge. Okay, in that topic, we discuss about the aerobic and anaerobic sludge digester, and the process is called as anaerobic sludge digestion. Also, we discuss about the slow rate digester and high rate digester. Okay. So the digester which are used for the digestion of sludge. Okay. So sludge which is collected from the sewage treatment plant or municipal wastewater treatment plant. Okay. So that sludge finally dewatered, then digest and then dispose. Okay. So these are all various operations which are carried out after the collection of sludge. Okay. What are the different operations which carried out over the sludge? So the first thing is anaerobic sludge digestion, then thickening of sludge, then stabilization of sludge, then conditioning of sludge, dewatering of sludge, then hydrogenation of sludge, then sludge drying, that is drying of sludge, next incineration of sludge, composting of sludge, finally disposal of sludge, and the last energy production. So these all are various operations which are carried out at the uh, which are carried out over the sludge. Okay, so these all operations which are carried out these all operations are called as the treatment of sludge and disposal of sludge. Okay, and one of the that is dewatering of sludge. Okay, so in anaerobic sludge digestion, we all know the sludge which whatever that sludge or organic matter which converted into the gases like H2S, hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen, nitrogen, and methane. Okay, so these are whatever the byproduct of overall anaerobic sludge digestion. Okay, so as we discussed, there are the various operations or stages of the anaerobic sludge digestion. That is the hydrolysis, then acidogenesis, then acetogenesis, and then methanogenesis. Okay, so what happened here? Whatever that carbohydrates which convert into simpler sugar, then it convert into alcohol, and then it convert into organic acids. Okay. And finally, that acids which convert into the ammonia. Okay, and finally, this organic acid which convert into acetic acid, and acetic acid which convert into methane by methane forming bacteria. Okay, so overall the reaction of the anaerobic sludge digestion is the all organic matter which present in sludge which convert into CO2 carbon dioxide, which convert into CH4 methane, which convert into new cell, energy of cell, and other product like hydrogen sulfide, nitrogen, and hydrogen. Okay. So this is the overall reaction and the process of anaerobic sludge digestion. What happened at the end of this process? So in anaerobic sludge digestion, the organic matter or the sludge which convert into the CO2 carbon dioxide, then CH4 methane plus new cell plus energy for cell, then other products like hydrogen sulfide, H2 and N2. So this is the overall final reaction of anaerobic sludge digestion, and the various process which occurs in anaerobic sludge digestion like a hydrolysis, then acidogenesis, then acetogenesis, and methanogenesis. This all we already discussed in the previous topic, that is anaerobic sludge digestion. Okay. We also cover that anaerobic digestion is nothing but the biological degradation of organic matter which perform in the biodigester. Okay, and during this process, the much of the organic matter is converted into biogas, that is methane and carbon dioxide, and the process can reduce the organic matter content of sludge by 40 to 50%. So as we know that anaerobic sludge digester which consists the biogas at the top, then liquid, then sludge, and finally mixing zone. So these are the various parts of anaerobic sludge digester. Okay. So As we already discussed the anaerobic sludge digestion process, in which the sludge which collected from the various treatment unit like primary sedimentation or sludge thickening or sludge disintegration or from the clarifier, okay, this totally sludge digested, anaerobic digestion, and finally from that digestion we produce a biogas, that is energy production after heating and mixing, okay, and finally this digested sludge that dewatered and dewater sludge finally disposed by the various treatment, okay. So these are all operations which are carried out with the uh, anaerobic sludge digestion, okay. So the next process that is called as the sludge conditioning, or either you can say sludge thickening or sludge stabilization, okay. So before discussing about the sludge dewatering, so what is the sludge thickening and what is the sludge stabilization and sludge conditioning? So sludge conditioning, it is a process to improve the dewatering characteristics of sludge and to prepare the sludge for dewatering process, okay. So the first stage, that is anaerobic sludge digestion, and next stage, that is the sludge conditioning, okay, or sludge thickening, and this process before the dewatering process. Why the sludge conditioning? Because the sludge conditioning is to improve the dewatering characteristics of the sludge and to prepare the sludge for a dewatering process, okay. So in this process, sludge conditioning, the utilization of organic matter or organic chemical or by the thermal treatment. So this sludge conditioning, it can be done by using the thermal treatment, by using heat, or either we can use inorganic or organic chemicals, okay. So various types of material like a chemical, and either by using thermal treatment we can do this process of sludge conditioning, okay. So if you consider the chemical, so which type of chemical we can use for sludge conditioning? So mostly we can use lime, okay, we can add a lime. Also we can add the alum. Also we can add ferric chloride, okay. So this type of different chemicals, or also we can add various organic polymer which can be used for the sludges, okay. So this type of various chemicals we can use in the process of the sludge conditioning, okay. So then next is the sludge thickening, okay. So the different types of thickeners which are used in the process of sludge thickening. So what are the various devices which are used in the sludge thickening? The first one is, we can say, the screw space thickener, okay, that is a multi-disc screw, and this screw type thickener which is used for the thickening process. So typically this process typically consists of thickening and dewatering zone, okay. So what it consists? It consists of filter cylinder, is composed of fixed rings, moving rings, and located between the fixed rings and screw shaft. Okay, so moving rings are push up and down by screw shaft, resulting clean solid out from the gaps between fixed rings continuously. Okay, so this process is called as sludge thickening. Similarly, one of the next process that is called as the gravity belt thickener. Okay, so gravity belt thickener, which also used for the process of sludge thickening. So it uses a slow moving fabric belt to separate the polymer, preconditioning sludge, solids, and free waters. Okay, so preconditioning sludge, solid, which remove from that water. So sludge thickening on the device is added by the multiple rows, okay, and provide additional retention time over that horizontal gravity belt. So this gravity belt thickener, which also we can use for the process of the sludge thickening. Also we can use sludge centrifugation, or okay. So this sludge centrifugation thickening is the acceleration of sedimentation through the centrifugal force. So this commonly used for thickening of waste activated sludge. So this method, sludge centrifugation, which is used for the waste activated sludge and primary sludge. Okay. The next one is the mechanical thickening. Okay, so mechanical thickening of excess sludge in large wastewater treatment plant. So where this mechanical thickening is used, so mechanical thickening is usually used in the thickening of sludge, that is excess sludge in large wastewater treatment plants. And techniques are usually sophisticated and not cost efficient for smaller systems. Mostly these are favorable for large wastewater treatment plants. Needs electrical energy and may require flocculant aid like a coagulant. Okay, so can be operating continuously, and mechanical thickening equipments options include screw, drum, belt, and centrifuge. Okay, so these various types of equipment, that is belt press or drum press or screw press or a centrifuge. So these are the mechanical thickening equipment we can use for mechanical thickening. Okay, so this technical system require a high degree of operator supervision and operator training. So that means skill supervision is required and needed in case of mechanical thickening of sludge. Okay, so the next process, that is dissolved air flotation thickening. That is again one of the process which is used in sludge thickening. That is what the suitable treatment, that is dissolved air flotation thickening, that is suitable for the treatment of waste activated sludge. So here is the air bubbles get attached to the solid and cause the solid to separate from the water in the upward direction. Okay, so the upward moving particles from the sludge blanket on the surface of the flotation thickener. So this what the dissolved air flotation thickening. Okay, so this about the sludge thickening and the different techniques and methods which can be used in the process of sludge thickening. Okay, so what is sludge thickening? Sludge thickening, it is a process in which the sludge thickening is the process by which solids are condensed to increase the solid content of sludge by reducing the water content with low energy input. Okay, so typically water content of wastewater treatment sludge remains between 97% to 99%, and the dry solid content of the secondary sludge is about 0.5 to 1%. Okay, so the sludge thickening, it is what the process of solid are condensed to increase the dry solid content of sludge and reducing the water content with a low energy input. So thickening wastewater solid reduce the volume of residue, improves operation, and reduce the cost of storage, processing, transfer, and disposal of sludge. Okay, so that is one of the major important process, that is thickening of sludge, which help in the disposal of sludge, in the storage of sludge, processing of sludge, and transfer of sludge, and which obviously reduce the cost of these all operations. So gravity thickening or mechanical thickening devices may be used to treat primary sludge, secondary sludge, or mixture of both primary and secondary sludge. Okay, so the next is the sludge treatment. So what are the different treatments which are used for the treatment of sludge? Okay, so as we discussed earlier, that is conditioning is one of the treatment in which we can use chemical and thermal treatment like hydrolysis process, or if you consider the thermal process, so in which we can do the hydrolysis. If you consider the chemical process, in which we can use lime addition. Okay, so other, if you consider the thickening process, so sludge thickening, in which we can use thickener. Again, if you consider the drying, in that we can use the disc dryer or drum dryer. If you consider mechanical dewatering, so in which we can use belt press, filter press, centrifuge. Okay, and finally the conversion, that is biological conversion and thermal conversion, in which we can consider the anaerobic digestion, aerobic digestion, and composting. These are the biological process. And if you consider the thermal process, in which pyrolysis, gasification, incineration, so these are the various thermal processes which are used in sludge treatment. Okay, so what do we discuss? We discuss the sludge treatment, in which we discuss the first treatment, that is conditioning. So conditioning can be done by chemically or thermally. Chemically, we can add lime, and thermally we can do the hydrolysis. Second sludge treatment we discussed, that is separation of phases, that is separation of solid and liquid, in which we can do the sludge thickening and example of sludge thickener. Again, we can do the mechanical dewatering, in which we can use the belt press, filter press, centrifuge. Okay, and also we can do the drying, and in which we can use a drum dryer and disc dryer. And finally, treatment of sludge, that is the conversion. So conversion, we can do biological conversion or thermal conversion. So in biological conversion, we can use anaerobic digestion of sludge, aerobic digestion of sludge, composting of sludge, and thermal treatment, in which we can do the pyrolysis, gasification, and incineration of sludge. So these are all the different types of treatment methods which are used in the sludge treatment. Okay, so these are various all the sludge management steps and option. Okay, so what are the different sludge management steps and option? That is the first, the sludge thickening, sludge stabilization, sludge dewatering, sludge hygienation, sludge drying, then incineration, then composting, then land disposal, and finally the energy production. So these are various steps in sludge management and the steps and various options of sludge treatment.